The following episode of Vos de Sueños After Dark has been rated Cupcakes due to extremely graphic content, heavy alcohol use, swearing, mature themes, very poorly written fan fictions, and varying audio levels. Viewer discretion is not advised, it is required. Please, if these themes upset you, stop the video now. Ha ha! That's why we do sound checks. The microphone was not right. So, let us get a sound check from everyone. Today is random day of March in 2012. It's the 18th. And I have no idea when this episode will go up, but I have Mobius, Osieth, Masa, and AdamThePerson with me today.
Hello.
Hello!
Hello.
Hello!
That's actually pretty much perfect. I'll probably have to be a little bit louder. Ah! See?
Ah!
Shelly, sorry. You, Osieth. Your voice just fills up the mic.
And now it doesn't.
Aww.
Sadness.
Yes, but now we don't have the massive sound wave that is your voice.
That's true.
I express sadness bordering on alarm.
Well, clearly I just need to scoot slightly closer to the microphone. Yeah, that helps, and smack the thing. So, today is Sunday, St. Patrick's Day +1 because Vos had to work. And this is Crazy People After Dark. We are redoing the Petite Four, and Celestia only knows what after that.
It's a good thing we have Applejack whiskey.
We do. For those in the audience playing the home game, this episode, as you can probably guess with all of my friends here, is rated Cupcakes, and I actually wasn't planning on getting more than just something for me. And then I saw that the liquor store had Applejack whiskey. It's actually called Applejack whiskey. And it's here now, and people are drinking.
You can definitely tell this is pony themed, because we're drinking Applejack whiskey, gin, and Strongbow hard cider.
How is gin pony themed? Not that I'm arguing.
How is gin not pony themed?
I am drinking it out of my first generation thirsty brony glass where you can actually see the lettering. That's why I fixed it. Okay, how do you guys want to do the reading today? Do you want to make random commentary as I read, or switch up, or what?
I'd be up for switching up. That way we actually feel like we have a voice and a presence in the overall recording.
Alright. You alright there, Masa?
No, I'm just digging around with my phone right now, and I just realized, oh, a certain video came up. So, unfortunately, I will have to watch that later.
Which video would that be?
It's the latest Team 4 star.
No, it is not.
Nice.
Is
Is it a troll?
Oh, preview. Oh, son of a bitch.
Sorry.
Troll bastards.
We do love dicking around.
That reminds me. For those who haven't heard, there's a My Immortal fic that's even closer to the original than the one I read on the podcast.
What? Wait, what? Vos?
How dare you mention that fanfiction during this time?
Hold on. Hold on.
Holding.
So, I won't read much of this, since we're going to redo Le Petite Four here in a minute. But this is... We actually, for those in the audience, we have a bunch of different ideas for what we're going to do after Le Petite Four. It's 9,000 words long. It could take us an hour and a half to read. But should we make it through that sober enough to continue? There are many ideas of what we could do.
Hell, even if we don't get to some, we may do some later. If you guys enjoy that idea enough.
After all, remember AdamThePerson's last recording. Read the rest on your own, fuckers.
That is my catchphrase.
It is. My name is Ebony Way, and I'm a 16-year-old unicorn at Celestia's School for Gifted Unicorns. I'm in my 6th year, even though most students my age are 17. But my reacher, Princess Nightmare Moon, recognized my potential and put me there, even though Principal Celestia argued against it. That dumb bitch is always trying to put me down, all because I'm gothic. This exists.
The only thing that makes it not as bad, though, is it sounds like it was done on purpose.
It is. It is impossible.
To be that stupid.
Yeah.
Recreate it.
I read almost all the way through it. In the first chapter, at least. I don't know if it continues. I hope it does, so that she has sex with Hedwig or something. I don't know.
No.
Wouldn't it be Aloysius?
That would be Aloysius.
Oh, now I know. Now we know. Now we know. It's a Digby.
And what is known cannot be unknown.
So now that I've completely fucked the audio levels, let's get started. Those in the room who may be unfamiliar with Cupcakes, one of the main characters takes one of the other main characters, kills her, and then makes her into cupcakes. This is the sequel. Rainbow Dash's disappearance was not at first noticed by the local populace of Ponyville. Despite her exuberant, unmissable presence, they knew she would always be found napping on a cloud or flying far and high into the skies where nobody could see her, and her head literally in the clouds. It wasn't until perhaps a week later that ponies began wondering where she had been. Random gigglings from the audience?
Yeah.
What are you giggling
I'm
about?
trying to be shown something, but the screen keeps rotating out of my vision.
I'm putting that away now.
And her disappearance caught more attention than the other cases of missing ponies. This was also troubling because the rota change for weather control. This was also troublesome because of the rota change for weather control, but it was all they could do. Only one pony knew where she had gone, standing in the doorway of the bakery, looking throughout the streets. She could tell them. She could tell them everything, but her instincts told her not to. Some mysteries were better left as mysteries. It was rare for her to say this, but in this case, she couldn't spoil the surprise. After all, every pony would learn about it, one by one.
She smiled and bounced the glowing summer day, giggling aimlessly about, sneaking through the alleyways occasionally, and no pony would ever take notice, already accustomed to her wily ways. And she smiled a hidden smile, knowing that in a way, all the ponies she personally knew were now part of herself, and all of her friends. For the most part, there was no reason to do so. She was happy enough just walking down the main street, gazing around at the usual bright colors and cheering the locals up with her presence, a familiar face of whom was met with either irritation or cheer. But then she felt the twitchy gut.
No dying.
We can edit. Or are you going to edit that out, I hope?
No death for you.
No, I'm going to leave it in.
All right.
As I will leave this conversation in.
All right. That works.
Cough, cough, cough.
I apologize for my coughing. She had the little twitches that could tell her something bad would occur. Whatever the case would be, it would be something bad they had to avoid. A walking...
Geiger.
Thank you. A walking Geiger counter of misfortune.
You could just change it to Gygax.
Yeah, that's true, I could.
A walking Gygax counter of misfortune.
It's
Nice.
a pleasure to meet you. But the twitch he got was different. It was a twitch no pony could see. A small perk of her eyes is the only clue. A special little twitch she never told anyone about. It was her signal to invite another friend.
Well, I have a feeling this is the start of really bad clop fiction.
Alright. Let's see, okay. It happened before Rainbow Dash. She saw her flying overhead one day, and the twitchy gut came. It excited her to think that she could have one of her bestest friends ever to help her with her trade. A shame that she had to leave, but it was a momentous occasion. She had known many ponies, but none of them were true friends like Rainbow Dash was. But her twitchy gut came, which the first twitch signified something near. She would look across the streets, gazing at each and every pony until the second and third twitches came. When the three twitches struck, the pit of her stomach, there she would find her next assistant.
Ah, yes, assistants.
Before we start reading AdamThePerson, thank you for this whiskey.
Is it awesome?
Thank you for buying it. Oh my god.
So, one of the things, since obviously all ponies are cider addicts, we are mixing the Applejack whiskey with apple cider right now. How is that, by the way?
Tasty. I don't think I put... Or, the first time I didn't put a whole lot of Applejack in there.
And we have now...
Hold on. For any of you awesome authors out there, congratulations, I gave you your idea. Applejack does not turn into cupcakes, she turns into cider.
No, this is Cupcakes 3. This is the plot. She goes
You know there's tons of plot in the ponies.
Yeah, but...
Mobius just shakes his head. Mm-hmm. Oh, one of my fans is starting to make a fanfic where it's post Cupcakes and Rainbow Dash is a ghost.
Hey, Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie. Hey, Pinkie Pie. I'm haunting you.
Fantastic. Adam?
When her eyes laid upon one pony, the 3 twitches came, making her gasp with intrigue. Really? She said to herself. Ooh, fancy. Every pony loves something fancy to try. But I have to make sure first. I have a number to take. And with that, she trotted off back to her lair.
So, I find it necessary to mention for those who don't know. Mobius knows, but I don't know that the 3 of you do. I actually have talked to the author, JamesCorck, fairly often. He's a pretty awesome guy. I want to make mention, take a look at some of this as you're reading through it, and realize this man speaks English as a second language. He's Spanish. He lives in Spain.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations! You outdo Americans with our own language.
Huzzah!
Isn't it sad that
It
half of
is.
the fics that we see are worse than this? Anyhow, so I hope that boosts your ego, James. Alright. She had her lair located underneath Sugar Cube Corner. The trapdoor to the basement concealed it perfectly for no pony to see. She trotted downstairs, went past the main room, and entered another one. There was a large table with a can of red paint, and a party hat filled with cut-out numbers inside. There had to be around 500 numbers. Pinkie Pie stuffed her muzzle inside and plucked a number out. Yay! She yelled, letting the number fall from her mouth and on the table. It got soaked in red paint. Scene transition.
Rarity had been rather pleased to not be so busy for once. As much as she relished a big project to take on with her thread and needle, she enjoyed a little downtime to herself as well. Lying upon her bed, resplendent within her inner sanctum of heights of fashion and fresh from Canterlot, she would dream of gracing royal galas and sequins shining off her flank, silken hooved sleeves bringing their colors out, and tassels, well, not tassels. Don't be ridiculous. They would look terrible with sequins, she thought. But she dreamed away nevertheless for fresh new ideas. Ah, the life of a fashionista, she murmured to herself as she bathed in the sunlight from her window. A life so fraught with stress and pleasure. What? Something had flapped against the window briefly and blocked the light from her body. The sound of a light whap against the window making her rise from her bed and discover the letter had been pasted onto her window pane. She could tell from this distance by the gaudy pink who it was from. With a slight sneer, she slowly opened her window and brought the letter inside, tenderly cutting it open with a letter opener, and pulling the rather excitedly scrawled message out to read. "Hi, Rarity! How are you doing? I hope I'm not bothering you, but could you help me down the bakery? I really want to impress ponies with something really fancy, and you're the fanciest pony I know. Hope to see you soon. Pinkie P." "Oh, such awful muzzle writing," was her first comment. How can one even run an establishment without knowing the pleasures of cursive? But fancy? The compliment had struck her nicely enough. Does that mean... What if... Oh, Celestia, please let it be true. I know this day would come.
And with a rather flustered sense of excitement awakening within her, she left a message on her door saying she was out to brunch, and briskly cantered all the way to Pinkie Pie's. Thoughts ran within her head at what her sugar-laden friend could possibly want with her expertise. Knocking politely on the door, she was greeted with the most exuberant face she had ever seen on her friend. Oh, you and your photobomb face, Mobius. She had seen Pinkie Pie excited before, but this was pure jubilation, or however that's the word is said.
Jubilance.
All right. Hooray. Rarity, you made it! Come on in! Oh, come in. Oh, well, hello, dear Pinkie. I got your message, even if you delivered it rather unorthodoxly. Rarity is now British.
I'm fine. Whatever. I'm sure I'll make one of the characters Russian later for no reason.
Oh, well, I can see why. After all, when one is... I'm going to redo that because I didn't...
Where'd your British accent go?
It comes and goes,
Oh.
you know.
I skipped a line.
It's a wandering accent.
It is a wandering accent.
I skipped the line. I apologize again. Sorry, Rarity, but I couldn't let anyone see me deliver you that little note. It's a surprise after all. Oh? Well, I can see why. After all, when one is about to embark on an odyssey of delectable delights such as this, you have to be discreet until ready to unveil, correct? Yeah! Oh, you totally understand. I'm so happy to hear. Thank you.
It's alright.
I kind of really want to hear Rarity say, "Good show, old chap."
Good show, old chap.
Let's see here. I'll read a couple more lines and pass
Well,
it
you're
on.
going to get the phone to read it eventually. You could probably just insert lines if you wanted.
Yay! I love destroying people's fanfiction.
Okay, there we go. Well, to be quite frank, I knew this day would come, my sweet Pinky. The bouncy pick pony looked quizzically at her friend, put slightly off kilter. You did? Oh, why, yes! I always knew that one day you'd be willing enough to try creating something more fancy, as you put it.
Delicious.
You gonna get raped.
Okay, where'd you leave off at? Top? Alright.
Yep.
Pinkie Pie nodded vigorously, surprised
louder,
to feel
please.
that Rarity, of all ponies, was thinking on what felt like the same wavelength. Oh, yeah. I just had to be at the right time, was all. Well, there was no shame in admitting uncertainty if you're ready. But I am happy to see that you are making something more elegant. Don't get me wrong, dear. Your cupcakes and pastries are just simply marvelous. But sometimes you need something of a different class, just to mix up a little. Oh yeah, I've been waiting for it. I didn't think the day would ever come, but well, here we are. Hee hee. I'm rather surprised that you didn't do this sooner, Pinky. You already know that you are a wonderful baker. Well, I just had to be the right time was all. Indeed.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir. Rarity was genuinely surprised that Pinky of all ponies would have such patience to not try this sort of thing sooner, but she appreciated her more for that. If anything, it made her respect her more than as being serious about her own craft. In a small way, she felt a certain kinship to Pinky, as a fellow artist. She understood that to make food was just as complex as making a dress. It was all about the right quantities, what went together with what, and above all else, having a sense of taste. As she pondered this, she didn't notice Pinky push a plate of cupcakes to her face. Beautifully glossy, blue icing, and sprinkles in every color under the rainbow before her muzzle. Well, what the... Don't you want to try one so we can get started? Pinky grinned with the tray in her mouth, speaking through gritted teeth. Rarity... I'm sorry? Oh, okay. Rarity gently lifted one up with her unicorn horn, suspended in midair. Oh, really, I'd love to, but I'm not too hungry. Oh, come on, Rarity. It'll get you all ready.
I'm gonna stop doing my show. I'm just gonna give it to you guys.
Well, I suppose I must reacquaint myself with the taste so I can properly assist you.
Thunder.
The thunder strikes!
It is ominous and it portends the great wonders that lie before us.
Symbolism!
Foreshadowing!
Nature can see the future.
Wonderful. Oh, I'm gonna die by the end of the night, but it'll be wonderful.
I shall pass the torch.
Alright, where'd you leave off?
Alright.
Hold on, I feel that we...
Oh my word, Pinky! How do you make these so delicious? You'll find out soon enough.
Did I miss? Did I?
Is that she gently bit off some of the
Okay.
blah 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 blah.
She did not bite off some of the blah 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 blah. You're lying to me. Clearly you're lying.
She bites all the things.
She gently bit off some of the cupcake before finding it far too delicious to refuse a second. We're way too early for me to be skipping things already.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before finding it far too delicious to refuse a second bite, and left half of it remaining, munching eagerly, her tongue turning blue with a myriad of other minor colors. My word! Oh, Pinkie Pie, how do you make these so delicious?
You'll find out soon enough. I can't believe you're so eager to help me, Rarity. I really appreciate it.
Oh, well, I'm always willing to help a pony learn the wonders of a more refined taste. I may not be as skilled as you are with baking, but I can certainly help with.
You all right, Rarity?
I feel a little woozy. Maybe it's the sugar. With that, she soon collapsed onto the floor, the cupcake she had been holding splatting onto the floor beside her with Pinkie Pie giggling down at her. What the fuck?
That was
what?
scary as shit.
That's what it was meant to be. Nikki's terrified of our maniacal giggles.
Oh, you didn't even finish. Oh, well. There's plenty more where that came from.
Scene transition.
Same transition.
I didn't think scene transitions could be so scary.
Scene transitions take us to the future.
At first,
Oh, that's perfect.
You gotta keep that.
In the picture.
Oh, I
She
hope
did-
it shows up. Sorry.
she didn't feel anything. She could hear distant voices, giggles, and sounds of metal clattering and clanging against each other. She couldn't see anything but black. Rarity blinked, and the blackness turned into grayness. She kept blinking, and the view turned into a faded gray as she looked around. But she was in a completely dark room with a pale white light pouring through the half-blocked window. When she tried to move, a sting of pain crossed her forelegs. She looked to the right and to the left. Several leather straps had held her tightly to the table. She could see it was an operation table, since it was made out of shiny metal. The stench of formaldehyde filled her nostrils, and in abject horror, her mind raced through her memories. She was with Pinkie Pie. She ate a cupcake. Then she collapsed and everything turned black. She looked around until she saw a pink smudge in the distance, covered in the shadows. It moved frantically. Rarity tried to talk, but nothing came through her mouth. She looked down past the tongue over her lips. She tried to, though. She couldn't move her tongue. It flapped to the side. She flapped side to side against the corners of her mouth, and her jaw hung loose. She started mumbling and moaning, frightened to death.
The pink smudge moved away from where it was and disappeared into the darkness. Rarity opened her eyes until there hurt her. Okay.
I believe that's an editing error.
Rarity opened her eyes until they hurt her as she moved her head side to side. Where did it go? Where was it? Was it Pinkie? Why would her friend do something like that to her? Rarity looked down as she saw the rest of her body strapped to the table. Her left leg was tied up in blue leather straps. She recognized that shade of blue.
Surprise!
Pinkie Pie appeared right before her eyes with a demented smile that showed her teeth.
Hiya, Rarity! I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome to my basement!
Pinkie Pie bounced away, and Rarity observed in disgust at the attire she was wearing. She had a gown made out of cutie marks sewn together with a very thick thread.
She's upset about the thread count.
Oh, you.
I see what you did there.
There were 6 Pegasus wings sewn on the back of the gown. 2 of the wings were the same shade of blue as the straps on her left leg. Pinkie had a necklace made out of unicorn horns hanging over the gown. The grisly attire terrorized Rarity as she felt her stomach twisting and her mind getting hazy. Because, this was such a fashion faux pas. She tried to talk, but more babbling came out of her mouth.
Oh, don't worry, said Pinkie Pie. That's the coating?
Cody.
Coating. It'll wear off in a few minutes. Pinkie Pie walked close to Rarity. I'm so excited. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I can't wait to have you here, Rarity. And since you know how important it is, I think you and I are going to make the best cupcakes yet. Rarity didn't understand. As Pinkie Pie moved away from her eyesight, she tried to look around her. Aside from the metal table and straps on her 4 legs, there was nothing else around her.
Redo that sentence. You're soft enough that that's going to get cut out by the car.
Alright, let me... restarting. Rarity didn't understand. As Pinkie Pie moved away from her eyesight, she tried to look around her. Aside from the metal table and the straps on her 4 legs, there was nothing else around her. She looked at the straps. They were smeared with something. It took Rarity a few seconds to actually feel the stench and see the red liquid oozing from the skin. That was not leather, she thought. She tried to pull and break free, but they were so tightly tied to the table that she couldn't even lift her limbs. She felt the sweat cooling over her coat and between her joints on her neck and over her brow. If Pinkie Pie was joking, she didn't find that funny at all. As Pinkie Pie returned to Rarity's side, she noticed that the unicorn was shaking and asked with a genuine concern, "Aw, Rarity, are you afraid? Is it 'cause it's dark? Here, let me help you with that." Pinkie Pie disappeared again, and a few seconds later, an explosion of white light coming from the ceiling filled the room. Rarity closed her eyes, even with the light her retinas. Slowly, she opened her eyes, and as she did, she wished she had not.
The sight before her was revolting.
I'm glad you got that sentence. You're going to enjoy this description.
Have fun.
Oh my, yes.
Remember, I've got my eye on you.
We're all terrible people.
We are. But there's alcohol involved, so it's okay.
Oh.
Okay, I shall restart. The sight before her was revolting. The walls were white, or at least they used to be. Smeared in red, black, and brown. There were crusts of dried blood in between the tiles. From the ceiling hung
Bundles.
Osieth tapped me.
Thor approves this message.
It might not get picked up, but there was thunder going on just for you playing the home game.
Oh, it will, because most of the people speaking are at... Here, let me show you. I'm a little... This is about the volume that Maz is at. And except in the case where we're yelling, everyone's roughly at this low volume. So everything is going to get amplified.
Nice.
By a lot. The thunder should make it in.
Would you rather I scream?
No, please don't. That would make editing very unpleasant.
I apologize for the last time I recorded something with my...
It's really hard to get the audio levels right when you're using one mic. It's okay. But anyways.
From the ceiling hung bundles of rotten intestines and guts that dripped fluids over pans and tables. There were cleaned up bones piling on a corner that had belonged to other ponies. On one side, there was a macabre centerfold made out of foal heads. Rarity noticed one of them was Diamond Tiara. Then, was it Pinkie Pie? Had Pinkie Pie been kidnapping ponies all this time to gut them open? Oh no, please. Please don't tell me that's what she will do to me. No.
This would qualify as Rarity's worst possible thing.
Didn't you tell me just yesterday that you wanted the chance to play someone sadistic and soulless?
I love playing sadistic and soulless people.
Just wait until later on. You'll get to voice Pinkie being all kinds of fun.
We'll save
crazy.
We'll save the most intimate scene for you to read for Pinkie Pie.
I agree.
I want to read the song, though. I know there's a song in this.
Damn it, I love the song. We should all sing the song.
We should, okay.
Her struggles grew more panicked as she pulled from the straps until her limbs burned with pain. The panic and confusion rendered her magic useless. "Aw, come on, Rarity, don't get so upset," said Pinkie Pie. "Look, we're not alone." Pinkie Pie grabbed the table with both hooves and turned it to the side of the basement that was behind Rarity. The fashion unicorn felt the strength coming back to her jaw as she screamed with her mouth fully opened at what she saw. Hanging from a wall, there was the taxidermist corpse of Rainbow Dash. The rainbow mane and the tail were not as bright as they used to be, and the blue coat was more gray than blue. She had no wings, and her face had been stretched into a bizarre gesture. Was it a smile? Rarity was paralyzed, and her throat ached.
You see? You don't need to be so afraid now,
said Pinkie Pie, pulling from the table and returning it back to its original position. Rarity drooled down her chin as she looked at Pinkie Pie.
Pinkie, please, let me go, said Rarity. Please, I promise I won't say a word. It will be our little secret, yes? I swear, Pinkie Pie, swear.
Rarity was desperate. Her eyes were wet.
Ah, but I can't, Rarity. You see, I don't make the rules,
said Pinkie Pie.
I'm just doing my job, and it's so wonderful I get to do this with another one of my friends. This is going to be so much fun.
Real quick, when she said, "I'll make the rules," the only thing that popped in my head was Ralph Wiggum saying, "The leprechaun tells me to burn things."
I bet my Wookiee.
You sure did.
My boogers are all spicy.
They taste like burning.
Oh, go for it, Mobius. I can't keep going.
Rarity felt the strike of fear getting in her gut, getting in her gut and up to her brain. All of a sudden, she felt there was no escape. She had her entire body paralyzed except for her head. She could charge a spell on Pinkie Pie, but then what to do? She would scream for help until Pinkie Pie woke up and finished her. Rarity didn't know any powerful magic. She wasn't Twilight. The most powerful thing Rarity could make was to control the sewing implements of her dressmaking tools. And for the look of the basement, there were none there.
I'm going to stop you for a second because I thought of a horrible thing. Because the dress is made out of stitched together cutie marks, she can slowly learn to control the leather made out of bull's hide until she can undo the straps on her wrists.
Making some sort of shambling familiar. I can control pony's skin. It's cured leather after all.
Well, Katara learned bloodbending eventually, right?
Yeah, why not? When I have leather bending.
Whoa, that's so
And
wrong.
once again, there's a sick and sadistic idea for a fanfic right there.
We're creating a whole new genre of grimdark.
Pinkie, please, I beg you, said Rarity. If you're still my friend, if you still love me like I still love you, please don't hurt me. Don't hurt me more than you already have. She broke into tears. Aw, don't cry, silly, said Pinkie Pie as she got close to Rarity. She sat on the edge of the table and wiped the tears off Rarity's face, and then she grabbed her by the shoulders and gave Rarity a hug. Yes, it worked. It worked. I knew, Pinkie, if you cry, the cupcakes will just get sour. Pinkie Pie got off the table as she moved towards the fridge. Rarity looked at her with the tears rolling down her face as she started hyperventilating. She had to get out of the table and alert every pony that Pinkie was the mass murderer. She had to. She pulled again from the straps, but they wouldn't give in. She tried to use her magic to open the locks on the table, but she kept missing. Pinkie Pie moved slowly, oblivious that Rarity's attempts at getting out of the table. It's like she knew she wouldn't get away from her. Pinkie Pie got close to what looked like the surgical tray and opened up one of the drawers. She took a big knife with her teeth and moved to Rarity's head.
Now, Rarity, let me show you. I can use my mouth real well.
It does sound like a clop there.
If anyone's clopping to this right now, I will find you.
You are a sick, sick bastard.
Even sicker than we are.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
Only reason why we're gonna make it through this is because we have that fun little magical liquid that's Applejack.
Yeah, those of you who are under 21.
Drinking is bad. Don't do it.
Until you're 21.
Thank you, I had trouble saying that.
Then it's fun.
I have
Those
trouble.
of you who are 21, drink. Not now, Jerry. Are you drinking yet?
Pinkie Pie moved the knife to Rarity's forehead and sunk the blade into her flesh. Rarity screamed as the blade cut the flesh around her horn, leaving a deep red channel between her horn and the rest of her head. A few blood drops rolled down her fur and over her eyes, falling on her nose. Rarity shook her head as the drops tickled her nostrils. Pinkie Pie kept cutting as the pain struck through Rarity's mind and into her eyes. After Pinkie Pie was done, Rarity's horn was peeled off at the base, but still held on to her skull thanks to the nerves and the bone. Pinkie Pie moved the surgical tray, dropped the knife on it, and opened another drawer. When Rarity saw her pulling out a hacksaw, I love the hacksaw!
Why do they call it a hacksaw if it doesn't hack?
And she started screaming, "No! No, please, no! Help! Help! Any pony! Please help me! Help me!" Her desperate screams just amused Pinkie Pie. "Come on, Rarity! You look silly screaming! Besides," she patted the walls, making deaf sounds on the padded surface. "Soundproof walls! That way Mr. and Mrs. K can sleep while I work here. You gotta be considerate!" There you go.
Oh my.
Oh
Elliot?
my, no.
Let me show you the different lengths of wire I use.
Only in this case, it's let me show you the different, the different size of hacksaws I use.
This one I call Jimmy. He's quite good at sawing off horns. And this one, Little Boba Fett, is what I use for ripping off your wings. He's my favorite.
I like that the ring whipper. Ring whipper?
Wing Ripper?
Thank you, is Little Boba Fett.
Pinkie Pie moved the hacksaw to Rarity's head, as the unicorn shook it aside, making it impossible for Pinkie Pie to start sawing. Pinkie Pie put the hacksaw down. She looked at Rarity. She was acting, so not like Rarity. All her ladylike attitude was gone, or at least part of it. "I won't let you! I won't!" screamed Rarity. And I lost my place there. Okay. Pinkie Pie thought she had no choice. She moved around the table and pulled another leather strap with a muzzle in the middle of it. She threw it over Rarity's face and pulled hard against the table. She pinned her head with a thunk and tied the leather strap to the mechanism. Rarity had her mouth closed so violently she didn't have time to get her tongue back in. The muzzle forced her to bite the tip off. She felt the sting of the spoogy flesh getting cut as her mouth was starting to fill with blood. "Now that's better," said Pinkie Pie. She grabbed the hacksaw again and began climbing up to Rarity's head and placed the dented edge of the horn's base. Rarity felt the blade's cold metal turn into fire as Pinkie started to saw off the bone. It didn't hurt at first, but then the dent started to cut through the nerves and the sinew. Rarity gurgled through the muzzle as blood bubbled from the corners of her mouth and down to her neck. She wanted to scream. The pain struck her through her brain as Pinkie Pie kept sewing.
This is freaking amazing.
I'm glad at the non-brony the group you're having so much fun.
Well, remember when we showed him Sweet Apple Massacre? He really enjoyed that, too. Now you get to be a part of something that horrible.
For those of you playing the home game, AdamThePerson is a sick and twisted little boy.
This is when you get
That's
to play.
what happens when you work at Wally World, though. This
He
is
was sick and
hilarious to me,
twisted
too.
before Wally World.
This is
It
when
just enhanced it.
Yeah.
you now get the Hannibal Lecter scene.
That's true.
Seriously, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Ooh. Just let me know when you want me to stop.
Is it too late?
We're only halfway through, so enjoy as much as you want.
I don't care. Just cut me off whenever. Okay. Okay. When Pinkie Pie stopped, she was only halfway through cutting the bone. She grabbed it with her forehooves as she looked at Rarity. "Time to break the spell!" She pushed the horn down, snapping the bone with a dry crack. Rarity screamed through the muzzle as her throat gurgled in a pool of blood and saliva. Pinkie Pie moved away from Rarity as the hole where she used to have her horn started dripping blood between her eyes. Pinkie Pie grabbed the horn and sucked it. Aww.
Jesus Christ!
That's a completely different and equally upsetting sound.
Good times. I'm sorry.
Aw, it doesn't have a flavor.
You okay there, Mouse?
Alright? She said with disappointment in her voice. Rarity felt she was losing it. Her eyesight became blurry, and she felt the cold fingers of unconsciousness grasping her mind. Before she could completely slip into a sea of blackness, she felt something wet and icy cold hitting between her haunches. She looked at Pinkie Pie. She held an empty bucket in her forehooves. No sleepy. We don't like sleepyheads here, said Pinkie Pie. Where's the fun if you fall asleep? Rarity looked up to where her horn used to be. She felt sick when she saw nothing there but a gush of blood. All her life revolved around that horn. Her magic abilities, her skill with the needle and scissors, they were all gone! She wouldn't be able to do dresses ever again.
You did that just to spite my editing, didn't you?
But I gotta make it work somehow. If you'd like, I'll re-record it.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Where the hell was I now?
Magic Land.
Yay, I love Magic Land. She wouldn't be able to do dresses ever again. Pinkie Pie moved behind her and released her head from the muzzle. Rarity spat blood and saliva all over the floor, leaving a red stain all over her lips.
Are you sad?
Asked Pinkie Pie, throwing her horn over the table carelessly.
Come on, I was actually hoping you'd give me some advice. Advice? On what?
Said Rarity as she licked her lips and spat once more.
Well.
Pinkie Pie moved closer to Rarity as she rubbed a hoof over her coat. Rarity trembled under Pinkie's touch, repulsed by her friend. The sole touch and the sudden switch of her perception of Pinkie Pie nauseated her. Rarity looked away as Pinkie Pie rubbed her face and cleaned the red blood from her lips. Rarity roared. Rarity roared as more blood dripped from her forehead.
Roar!
Rawr.
Hipster.
Password.
I've always wanted to make myself a dress,
said Pinkie Pie.
but I'm not that good at doing dresses. This,
She pointed at her gown.
was the best I could do.
Pinkie Pie, I can help you do dresses. I will teach you to do the most beautiful dresses, said Rarity, desperation rasping in her voice. If you let me go, I will do the best dress ever, yes? What do you say, Pinkie Pie? She added between her gasps. Oh, Rarity, don't be silly. I took off your horn. You won't be able to do a dress ever again. Rarity let the words sink in. She couldn't remember the last dress she'd made. Was it for Fluttershy, or maybe for Twilight? It didn't matter anymore. She would never fully recover from the mutilation. The pain inside her head was such that she couldn't even think on anything else. Pinkie Pie continued with her talking. But you can still help me! Complained Pinkie Pie. How? Said Rarity, before exploding into a fit of rage. How? How am I going to help you? Oh, that's easy sneezy, said Pinkie Pie. You can provide the supplies. She passed her hoof over Rarity's body. She had such a silky fur. The touch of it under her hoof was so delicate Pinkie couldn't hold a moan of pleasure. Rarity groaned as she tugged from the straps while she gritted her teeth. They wouldn't budge as her skin was starting to turn red around them. White fur stuck in the seams. Rarity looked up at Pinkie Pie, who was rubbing both her forehooves over Rarity's stomach.
Rarity.
As the next word she said them licking her lips.
I love your coat.
Oh, that's a disturbing image.
Rarity shivered in terror as Pinkie Pie moved away to get another tool from the surgical tray. She dunked the hacksaw and the knife and set a bucket full of water to clean them as she turned around with the scalpel on her mouth. Well, I'll give Pinkie Pie this. She's at least sanitary.
Hello, dog.
Hello.
I pondered where to start getting supplies from for a good while. I guess I better start with the colored parts. Don't you think, Rarity?
Said Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie moved behind Rarity. With her forehooves, Pinkie Pie forced Rarity to lay her head over her right side. The cold table rubbed against Rarity's cheek as blood rolled over her right eye. Rarity closed it with unnatural reflexes. Pinkie threw the leather strap from before over Rarity's head, leaving the back of her head exposed. Her mane had its root coated in sweat and dried blood from the horn extraction, but it still looked bright and fabulous. Pinkie Pie puffed it between her hooves.
Oh, Rarity, your hair's the best hair a pony could ever wish. I've always wanted hair like this.
Good motion.
Rarity closed her eyes as her breathing intensified. Her quick, raspy breaths for air and through her teeth made her feel dizzy. The panic grasped her gut and soaked her thighs with sweat. With her chest growing up and down out of control, she begged Pinkie Pie to stop. "Pinkie, please don't! Don't!" Her voice cracked. "I can help. I can do your hair like mine. I can dye it. We can go to the spa together and get your mane exactly like mine. Please, don't scalp me. Please, Pinkie. Please, please, please don't!" Pinkie Pie didn't reply to Rarity's begging. She just said, "I guess using the scalpel for this was the best idea. I mean, come on. I'm gonna help scalp you, right?" said Pinkie Pie coldly. With those words, Pinkie sunk the scalpel's blade into Rarity's hairline. The pain was so intense as it was on her horn, but it still cut her breath. Rarity choked, and her throat made a silent scream in agony that turned into a cough. The blade, cold and sharp, cut through the skin and under her mane. Pinkie Pie worked on the scalpel all the way down to her neck's base, and then up again. Then the thin hairline was soon hanging from a few tendons and a few skin fringes. Pinkie Pie dropped the scalpel on the surgical tray and grabbed the mane with her teeth. Let me get that out of your hair."
Now pass it on to Mr. Sadistic.
The pink pony pulled from the mane as she ripped it off, spraying blood all over the table. Rarity screamed as she stopped, feeling the rustle of her mane rubbing her shoulders, the fire growing on her head and down her neck, and the warm touch of thick blood licking her coat. She saw a curl disappear from over her head. Pinkie Pie released Rarity's head from the leather strap, and when the hornless unicorn turned around, the rub of the table over her skinned head made her scream. She stopped when she saw Pinkie Pie walking in front of her, holding the purple mane with one of her front hooves. The sight made her retch as she made efforts not to throw up. "Oh, Rarity, such lovely hair you had," said Pinkie Pie, putting the scalped mane on her head and dancing around. "Ah la 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 la." She stopped and...
Oh, well done.
She stopped and threw the mane over the table, next to Rarity's chopped-off horn. Pinkie Pie grabbed the scalpel again and moved to Rarity's hindquarters. When she saw that, Rarity lost it. No, Pinkie, no, stop, please stop, Pinkie, for the love of Celestia and everything magic, please stop.
Well done.
I get into things.
You secretly watch this show.
Pinkie didn't pay attention to her friend as she grabbed Rarity's tail by the base. She whipped off the sweat covering the area. She whipped or wiped?
Wiped.
Probably.
Sorry, whipped. It hasn't aged.
Okay. Well, whipped off the sweat covering the area. She grabbed the scalpel with her mouth and the tail between her forehooves. Rarity felt the blade cutting her skin again, mercilessly. The cold blade burned her flesh. The sensitive area was a haze of agony as her muscles tensed, making the pain even more intense.
Hazes of agony.
"You won't get away with your tail between your legs," joked Pinkie Pie as she grabbed Rarity's tail base.
For some reason, you make Pinkie sound like the Joker.
That seems appropriate.
Yeah, it really does.
"Anything but that, Pinkie. Anything but that. No, don't.
Pie so serious.
And you may continue.
Rarity couldn't finish the line. When Pinkie Pie tugged, Rarity's entire body locked as the strike of pain crossed her spine. The tail came off with a loud rip as a jet of dark blood covered Pinkie's face and the bottom of the table. It sounded like the fabric being torn apart.
Amazing.
Good lord.
Rarity was more shocked by the sound than the pain. Her lungs were in extreme pain and her throat was dry, making her gasp and spasm. How can it be dry if there's so much blood? She couldn't talk. She swallowed what little saliva she had, only to start hyperventilating again. When Pinkie Pie showed up, holding the purple tail between her mouth.
Like a cat so proud of its kill.
I was going to make a joke, but I see that the joke is made for me in a line. Rarity couldn't hold back the vomit. She turned her head to the right as she retched over the floor. The bile burnt her throat, so sour it was.
Oh, look, Rarity,
She said as she put the tail over her nose. I have back my beloved moustache! Pinkie Pie threw the tail next to the mane with a fluffy sound. As she moved away from Rarity's point of view.
As only Rarity's tail could make a fluffy sound.
The hemorrhage made Rarity lose focus. Hemorrhages do that. Everything beyond her legs blurred. She couldn't see the details on the tables before her, and the surgical tray was just a gray smudge. Pinkie Pie talked from behind her.
this is going to be such a beautiful dress. You know, back on the farm we couldn't have dresses. There was no money for them, not even the ugly ones. It was so depressing. Even the farewells were depressing. You have no idea what my dad said before he died. He left the farm and asked me to take care of the turnips. That's the last thing he said to me. Take care of the turnips.
Pinkie Pie bounced back again in Rarity's sight. She was wearing a white mask covering the front of her muzzle, and she had wrapped a pink mane in a surgical towel that was held down thanks to a pair of pink tweezers. That's when I learned to say hello and goodbye properly, like the last thing you will say to a pony. Treat your beloved ones well so you won't die feeling bad. I know my daddy felt bad when he died. I felt so bad too. She looked depressed, but soon cheered up again and asked Rarity something that sunk her heart even deeper than what already was. What was the last thing you said to your loved ones? You remember. What was the last thing you said to Sweetie Belle? Rarity's lips quivered as she tried to think straight. That morning she woke up early to take care of the orders. But when she woke up Sweetie Belle to send her to class, her little sister got angry, like every morning. Still, Rarity treated her kindly. Sobbing as she licked her lips to remove the excess tears and mucus dripping from her nose, Rarity tried to answer. I said to her, have a good morning. I'll see you after lunch. Pinkie Pie lowered her eyebrows as she smiled, approving of her friend's actions. Ah, did you tell her that you love her? Said Pinkie Pie with an honest tone of concern. Rarity knew she did. She always did. Sweetie Belle didn't reply to her, though. She never replied to her. She was angry for having to go to school that early, but Rarity had always shrugged it. This time, she wished she had heard her sister say, I love you, one more time. Yes. Did you kiss her? Rarity felt something new in her, loath for her friend Pinkie Pie. She looked at Pinkie and made no effort to hide her anger when she said the next words. I gave her a hug. Pinkie Pie bounced away from Rarity with a smile. That's so sweet, Rarity. See? Your sister will remember you forever knowing that she was loved. Me? Otherwise, I will live never knowing my daddy...
Thanks, Nikki.
Did she spill it?
Nope.
No, it was
All right.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah.
Mickey spilled the Applejack.
Almost, with her fat, fuzzy butt.
Nikki knocked over Applejack.
Otherwise, I will live knowing my daddy didn't love me. That's okay, I guess. I still have you. Well, I will for the next few minutes before you're gone.
Pinkie Pie rummaged over the surgical tray and grabbed something big, circular, and with a handle. It was a mirror.
Jesus.
You have to see this, Rarity. You've never looked so unique.
Pinkie Pie held the mirror up before Rarity, who closed her eyes as tightly as possible. The skin on her head pulled when she moved her face away. She didn't want to look at her reflection.
You better look or I'll take your eyes off.
Better look while you still can.
Are you sure you want your eyelids?
She knew it was going to be dreadful and revolting. She didn't want to leave this world with that last image of herself. She wanted to remember how beautiful her purple mane fell over her face and how her horn glowed on her forehead.
No, said Rarity. I won't. Leave me alone, you monster. Leave me.
She still sounds so upper class.
To the very end.
It's the last thing she has left.
That's because she's a classy lady.
Because she's British. They carry on.
Just like,
God, no. God, no.
God help us if she ever finds this.
I think you guys are fine on that.
We can only hope.
Pinkie powdered her lips as she brought the mirror closer and hit Rarity on her forehead. The hornless unicorn screamed in pain as the red stain of blood appeared over the mirror. Pinkie Pie wiped it with the cloth.
Look,
demanded Pinkie Pie, her tone angrier than ever.
look, or I'll cut off your eyelids.
She will too.
Rarity pondered the possibility since she was going to die anyways. In the end, she decided not to add more suffering to her misery. She opened her right eye very slowly, and when she saw the reflection in the mirror, she opened both eyes and choked a scream. Her head was bald. The horn had left a deep hole that looked like it had been made with a bore. She had dots of blood all over her face and around her mouth, with the pure white skin and sunken eyes. She looked like one of her mannequins, hairless and lifeless.
Shit just got serious.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
Where? She mumbled. Where am I? Oh, well, the part of you is there, said Pinkie Pie, pointing to the tail. And the rest is here, she added while patting Rarity. But not for long!
Hold on, Masa. I just want to point out the fact that you were so horrified by this earlier, but delivered that line perfectly.
Yeah.
This is just...
I'm a character actor, what do you expect?
Well, no. Just a little quick, little side note. My older brother, came across Cupcakes, and I told you guys the story. I warned him about it. He, went and found it anyway. And needless to say, he was revolted and actually made his girlfriend vomit.
Nice.
And this is in the hopes that he does listen to this one day. But
You
anyway,
should let him know that this is here.
If I was there while his girlfriend vomited, I'd be the asshole looming over her saying, "Cupcakes, so sweet and tasty cupcakes, don't be too hasty."
Don't forget that the first time we recorded this, we actually had cupcakes with rainbow frosting.
That was outstanding.
I remember another type of cupcake. A cupcake that had hot sauce on it.
Oh! For those of you who don't know, something that will never get posted was me, Osieth, and AdamThePerson trying desperately to play Epic Mealtime with Applejack's cupcakes. That video will probably never make it online, but those things were awful. We did put Tabasco sauce on them, and in the end, it was only mistakes and regrets.
I don't know what was so bad about them. They were pretty tasty to me.
Yeah, I didn't think they were half bad.
oh, that's terrifying. Anyway,
Not baked goods, baked bads.
Alright. Pinkie Pie took the mirror in front of Rarity and moved it around on the ground looking for something else. Rarity had sudden urge to wipe the blood off her head and dunk her face in a bucket of water. She wanted to run away, get cleaned up. As Pinkie Pie returned, Rarity wondered if that was what happened to Rainbow Dash. Did Pinkie Pie slaughter her to death? Why was Pinkie Pie doing this? To make cupcakes? Pinkie Pie showed up, holding a cup of water in her hooves.
Hold on. She
Do
sees
we
the
all have to drink now?
She saw the taxiderm corpse of Rainbow Dash hanging up in a different part of this room. What did she think Pinkie Pie did? Hug her to death?
Yeah,
Rainbow Dash died in a tragic Rainbow Dash accident.
As Rainbow Dash is apt to do.
Well, I mean, clearly she tried to press Fluttershy into doing something again, and Fluttershy beat the shit out of her.
I'm surprised Fluttershy didn't break her.
Hey, stay out of my shed!
Amazing.
This is a great episode. I love this episode already.
Alright. Drink, said Pinkie Pie with a smile. No, said Rarity. Drink or you'll get dehydrated. Come on, said Pinkie Pie with an even bigger smile. Rarity guessed she had no choice. Pinkie Pie would dunk the cup of water down her throat by force. So getting more punishment is so obliged. Is that right?
Yeah.
Obliged, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I need to pause for a second. This tastes like Applejack cereal.
Really?
When you're drunk enough,
See,
it's just like cinnamon and apples. It's wonderful.
I loved that one, but I had to stop drinking it because I put way too much Applejack in it.
When you're drunk, everything tastes like cereal.
It's fucking wonderful!
It was about halfway to the,
Cocaine is vitamins for hotel soap.
Anyway, Rarity opened her mouth, and Pinkie Pie poured the water down her throat. Even though Rarity welcomed the fresh liquid, it tasted foul with a touch of bitter and sweet. It also smelled raw, like a fish tank water. Fresh, isn't it? It's Gummy's favorite bath water!
Since you don't watch the show and don't know, Gummy is her pet alligator.
I know who Gummy is.
Okay.
He secretly watches the show, remember?
Right, of course. That's why he knows about the Metal Gear Solid episode with the Terminator time travel. Awesome. Did you watch that yet?
I still have not, because I'm weird and I watch them in order.
I know.
The last one that I saw, like the first 5 minutes of, I don't remember.
Text me when you catch up.
I'll probably try and watch some tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. I don't know, man.
Are we ready?
Yes, we are, Mr. Sadistic.
I'm sure I can continue, but go for it.
By all means. Continue.
No, I was just going to say that I showed you two the Sir Digby thing that Corey sent me, right?
Yes.
Drunken message. I sent him a text back earlier that said, so, you should expect your own Sir Digby message tonight. If you don't want to hear it or want it saved, you should probably turn your phone off in an hour or so. Ginger, I'm far too busy. Go pick up that monogram panty liner by my nemesis. Sorry, continue.
Rarity felt her stomach twist again as she started coughing and spitting. Another gush of vomit went up her throat as she emptied the water she just drank over the pile of vomit on the floor. A disgusting splatter soaked Pinkie's hooves. She didn't care as she moved away to drop the cup over the tray.
Yeah, that's about how much I put in before. Yeah.
Are you two okay?
No! He just put like 5 shots in my drink.
That's how much was in there before, and I tried to tell you that.
You didn't. You handed it to me and said I can't finish it. I'm driving.
Because I said I put too much in there.
Oh, fuck! Zoink, Scoop!
You don't have to work tomorrow.
And you live here. You can just pass out somewhere. You'll be fine.
It's gonna happen. I just hoped it would be later.
Just make sure you hydrate.
This is hydrating, right?
It has apple cider. Cider has water somewhere in there.
Now, where the hell was I? Let's see.
All over Rarity's belly.
You squeeze the bottle all over Rarity's belly, halfway through the paragraph.
She didn't care as she moved away to drop the cup over the tray. She took a bottle of something that looked yellow and opened it. Rarity recognized the powerful smell of linseed oil.
Does anybody know what linseed oil is for?
Linseeds?
Oiling linseeds?
Thank you. I thought
I'm sure someone will comment on YouTube letting us know exactly what it's for.
YouTube community, please give us a definition of linseed oil.
It makes me think of like a massage oil, but I don't know. Sorry.
I think we're about to find out what linseed oil is for.
You say that, but I don't know.
Pinkie Pie squeezed the bottle over Rarity's belly and over her hind legs and rubbed it with her bare hooves. Rarity thrashed as she tried to make Pinkie's task more difficult. The smell went inside her nose and made her dizzy. Pinkie Pie kept rubbing and rubbing until Rarity felt oily all over her stomach, her chest, and her hindquarters. The oil mixed with the blood, making her body slippery. Slippery as an eel. I'll let your skin absorb the oil. Then I can start taking your supplies, said Pinkie Pie while throwing away the bottle. The party pony What about?
We find out what it's for in a minute.
Okay. The party pony turned around and took another thing from the tray. Rarity's eyes widened when she saw Pinky holding the large syringe with her mouth.
Nope, that's not what the linseed oil is. It's something completely different.
Nope, it's clearly just mercury.
It was filled... Spoilers! It was...
Spoilers, Doctor.
Hello, sweetie. It was filled with a silvery liquid. Pinkie Pie walked towards Rarity and injected the syringe on the inside part of Rarity's hind leg above the groin. She emptied the liquid inside her body as Rarity felt her stomach twist with a sensation of the fluid getting inside her body. "It's a paralyzing agent," said Pinkie Pie. "It'll paralyze your leg while keeping your nerves awake."
I think I just vomited a little.
Rarity's breath intensified as Pinky sat down on the floor and waited patiently for the serum to take effect.
I have the weirdest boner right now.
Thank you for sharing.
boner.
Swag.
Twilightlicious. Tara is such a fucking troll, it's amazing. Rarity felt the burn on her forehead migrate as time passed. She looked over the table behind Pinky as tears came over her eyes. Pinky, noticing this, pouted, her lips... Wow, that was a sentence. Pinky, noticing this, pouted her lips and tried giving her friend some conversation. Yep.
That'll be the Applejack.
Your goddamn drinks. Applejack just bucked me in the head. I'm gonna try to pay more attention now.
That's what we get for turning her into a liquor.
Ah, dang it. Pinky, noticing this, pouted her lips and tried giving her friend some conversation.
Aw, don't be sad, Rarity. You know your precious maid will be used for something better. You should be happy.
Rarity loved her maid. She took care of it every day of her life. What a waste that was. When she was a little filly, all she needed to cheer her up was to puff up her curls and look at her reflection in the mirror. Vain son of a bitch, you and Gilda. She couldn't register the fact that Pinkie Pie had scalped her and turned her into a husk. She felt empty.
Why are you doing this, Pinkie Pie?
Rarity said as she swallowed with difficulty, her throat full of spikes.
Oh, you mean chopping off ponies?
Said Pinkie.
Well, silly, the supplies have to come from somewhere. I don't just mean dressing supplies, but the food.
Rarity looked at Pinkie Pie with widened eyes.
Food, yeah, you know.
And Pinkie Pie put both of her forehooves on her mouth and she mimicked eating noises.
God, that was creepy as fuck.
Food has to come from somewhere. Thank the princesses there's enough ponies here.
Soylent Green ponies!
It's been confirmed.
Pinkie, you can't. But what?
Pinkie stood up and moved to Rarity's leg. She hit it a couple of times to make sure there was no muscular reflex. After a few smacks on Rarity's flank, Pinkie Pie grabbed the clamped leather straps and removed them from Rarity's leg. The hornless unicorn saw that as a chance to kick Pinkie Pie in the face, and so threw her leg against her friend's head. But her leg didn't move.
It stood there, lying on the operating table as it dangled over the edge, lifeless.
Fuck you, Rarity.
She felt
Why?
She felt the sharp metal edge digging in the inside of her knee joint. Pinkie Pie grabbed Rarity's leg and placed it over the table as she grabbed it with her forehooves. "Now, this is better," said Pinkie Pie. "I have so much trouble when I did this Rainbow Dash. I had to electrocute her to teach her not to move. Luckily, you won't have to go through that."
What a surprise. Rarity lasts longer than Dash.
Dash is done in 10-second flat. Pinkie Pie moved to the surgical tray as Rarity made empty efforts to move her leg. It was impossible, but she felt her right leg also lifeless, even though she could feel the drops of oil running down her fur. Pinkie Pie turned around with a pair of pliers in her mouth. She was holding a burning white nail with them. On one of her forehooves, she had a hammer. No. Pinkie Pie moved to Rarity's leg and placed the nail on the seam between her hoof and her leg. The heat burned the fur and made a raw stench that flooded the room. "Pinkie, please, no, don't, no, Pinkie Pie raised the hammer up and slammed down the nail so hard, half of it dug inside Rarity's flesh. The hoof made a crunchy noise as it detached from the leg with the tendrils of blood, and the flesh still connecting them together. Rarity squealed in pain as she screamed so hard her voice turned into a wail of anguish. She coughed, gasped, swallowed saliva, and screamed some more. She didn't dare look down, as Pinkie kept hammering until every tendon was cut and the hoof was removed. Without even fluttering an eye, Pinkie moved to the other leg, repeated the process. Removed the leather straps. Grabbed a new burning nail, stabbed it inside Rarity's leg, removing the hoof completely. Rarity gurgled in the puddle of blood that was in her throat as she felt her other hoof coming off. Pinkie Pie grabbed both of them and threw them in the trash can. "You never looked so good with horseshoes anyway," said Pinkie Pie with a spot-on impression of Rarity. "And now for what really matters."
I'm just going to pause for a second. We're getting very close to the song. Who wants to be involved in the song?
Ha ha!
I know you do. Do you want to be involved?
I'm not sure if I can sing on tune, but I can try.
It's same as thread by thread. Part of the dress.
Okay.
Don't know the song.
Has it? You don't want to sing?
No.
You can try singing.
I can attempt it.
It's like that.
Okay, I'll try and meld my way in.
Alright, anyhow.
Pinkie Pie grabbed a new and clean knife with her mouth as she moved to Rarity's belly. With frightening precision, she made an incision over Rarity's crotch that circled around her waistline, passed over her legs, and around her cutie mark. Pinkie made another couple of cuts. Oh, God. Oh, no. Let away. Oh, God. Where's your button? Turn it back on.
What? It's up the side here.
It's hiding.
Oh, there we go.
The internet has kept you from Cupcakes, too.
Yes.
The Cupcakes inning.
Okay. Let's see here. There we go. Pinkie made another couple of cuts, each one on the inside of Rarity's legs. The fashion pony didn't feel anything anymore. Her entire body was a pile of agony. The cuts didn't add any more pain to her. Pinkie Pie stopped cutting and moved to the surgical tray, grabbed a circular blade, and started digging under the skin, separating it from the muscle. The red, fibrous flesh started to surface from underneath the white furry coat. Once she had removed a flap of skin, Pinkie Pie stopped and grabbed it with her teeth. She winked at Rarity as she pulled it from the skin, tearing it. Let's see here. There we go. Rarity screamed like she had never screamed before as her wails turned into sobs and then into gasps. She was hyperventilating as she felt a second rending of her flesh. Pinkie Pie was relentless. The pink pony pulled from the skin, turning Rarity's flank from white to red. The cutie mark was gone. There was only quivering muscle tissue left. She pulled until the skin met with the cut she'd made Rarity's leg and tore apart. Pinkie Pie took the dangling flap of skin and she shook the blood off it. She was so happy.
"Ooh, this is awesome! Look, Rarity!"
Rarity looked at Pinkie Pie, her eyesight blurred out with the mist inside her eyes. Pinkie Pie had covered her left flank with Rarity's skin. There were red smudges of blood over the pink fur, and the diamond cutie mark covered the balloons of Pinkie's. Pinkie flapped the skin up and down, showing off both marks as she giggled.
"I have 2 talents now," she said.
I feel this is a good point to mention. I forgot something in the very beginning. While this is written by a Spaniard, it is also edited by someone who I have also talked to and who will be in an equestrian invasion should I ever actually manage to get a girl to voice Luna. And that is a shout out to my awesome friend FinalGamerJames, who is Scottish. So this is written by a Spaniard and edited by a Scottish man.
And we're drinking for the live recording.
Yes, we are. Which is much better than the first live recording, which was just me ranting and you giggling in the background occasionally. No, not like that. Mobius doesn't giggle like that. He just goes... Yeah, like that.
Rarity loved her cutie mark. As she looked at her skin left flank.
Chastity's a rock?
Oh, that was horrible. As she looked at her skinned left leg, she started to reminisce on how she got it. Every element of the story was now gone, stripped of her, and now laying over several tables before her. Pinkie Pie moved to the other leg and started to pull the skin like she did with the other one. The muscular tissue bled over the table, but not enough to empty Rarity's body. Pinkie Pie took off the second flap of skin and laid it over the table, next to the mane and the tail. She then moved to Rarity's head, and under the table she pushed a few buttons, and the table, completely horizontal, respected the floor. Rarity couldn't move from the waist down, and Pinkie knew this. "Oh my, look at you, Rarity, you're a mess," said Pinkie Pie, imitating Rarity's voice. "I have to fix that. Your upper part is no match for your lower part." Pinkie Pie went to the surgical tray and took another syringe and returned to Rarity's side. She plunged the needle inside Rarity's neck and emptied the contents of the hypodermic level. The fluid spread over Rarity's muscles, and then quickly paralyzed her upper limbs. Pinkie Pie removed the leather straps as she returned to take the knife she just used. Rarity had her eyes soaked in tears, with the trails of red and gray coming from them in waterfalls. "Ah, Rarity!" The pink pony got close to Rarity's and then kissed her on the cheek. She passed a hoof over the cheek and then under her chin as she smiled at her. "Did that make any sense to you? At least you're not alone, eh? You'll go away."
She's Canadian now.
Yeah. You'll
At
go
least
away.
you're not alone, eh? You'll go away being with a friend. Not every pony can say that, eh?
Pinkie Pie moved to Rarity's chest. "My daddy didn't certainly can't."
Murdered him too. Okay. Adam.
Yeah?
I'm gonna point this out right now.
Okay.
We're right here. The song starts here, so
Okay, so
we're almost there. So
cease at that point. Okay.
paragraph, dialogue paragraph, and that's
I know. The italics, or however it's pronounced.
Yes, the italics. Italics. I made that up. That's a terrible pronunciation.
That word that means slanty letters.
Italics.
So.
Rare.
The ladle.
Ah.
Oh, there's things that can make Adam verbally shudder.
Rarity followed Pinkie Pie with her.
Adam.
Don't do it.
Oh,
It's still not as bad as Jerry doing it, though.
yeah, you guys can't make your tongue into a giant bowl. Oh, my fans don't know what that is, and I'm good.
Jerry's like, that's how I drink soup.
Yes, let's tell them that. That's what he does, fans. Don't listen to anything else they tell you.
Anyways, Rarity followed Pinkie Pie with her eyes as her hairless head rested over the table, the ears coated with oil and blood. Pinkie moved the knife from her mouth to both of her forehooves as she tried to hold it with a lot of difficulty. She had to hold it like that, or else she wouldn't be able to give Rarity one last token of appreciation. I've been thinking on a song for you to cheer you up. I'll sing it while I work.
I wonder if I can get the music without the vocals to attach to this. How awesome
that would be
that
amazing.
You should be able to, I'm sure.
I'm sure there's some people that have made at least something.
I might be able to do it. I'm gonna try. It's the only sound effect this episode will get. But
Aside from, the natural thunder we got earlier.
true, but
So alright. I can keep time and we can try and harmonize with each other. I can harmonize off of him.
We've done it with Dr. Horrible.
True.
I'm just gonna sing like Sinatra. You know that's what I do, especially when I'm drunk. That's a lie. I'm gonna sing like Pinkie.
Pinkie Pie dug the knife inside Rarity's armpit. Rarity screamed again, her screams not sounding like the screams of a pony anymore, but more like the agonizing howls of a dying animal, while Pinkie Pie sang slowly.
Alright, let's at least try and harmonize. Alright. Go me.
Me.
Alright,
You guys sing, and I'll do a little, narration
Alright.
in between.
That
one.
works.
I'll do 4 beats, then we'll start. 1, 2, 3.
Inch by inch, skinning you alive.
Pinky worked the blade toward Rarity's neck as she traced it over the ribs, the blade scraping the bone.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Such white skin, cutting your muscles snip by snip.
Pinky took the blade out of Rarity's body as she made a second incision over the sternum. The blade made the sound of nails over a chalkboard until it connected with the skin part of Rarity's belly.
Making sure the knife's sticking nicely.
Pinkie Pie took the knife to Rarity's shoulders and made a circular cut on each one of them before doing another vertical cut that went all the way up to Rarity's forehooves. She took a moment to pass her hoof over Rarity's coat once more.
It's about the texture, it's like silk. I just can't believe the skin's...
Wow.
Alright.
It's been a while since I've heard
Hold
this
on.
song.
Hold on. We can edit this out. Scroll up. Stitching together, inch by inch, making the fabric falls neatly. Da 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 da. It's but the texture, it's like silk. I can't believe it. It's so nicely. Alright. Shit, we need to listen to the song, don't we?
Yeah.
We tried though. We gave
Yes.
it a good effort.
We get an A for effort.
It's about the texture. It's
It's
like
like
silk.
silk.
I just can't believe the skin's so nifty. Making sure it is correctly shifting. I'm skinning you alive. And we'll go back.
Yep.
Alright.
I think at this point we can just skip the song parts now.
Yeah, whatever. We tried.
We
Dan.
did.
You want to start it from the beginning and just sing the whole song? And then
I would
go
like
back?
to see 3 random bronies get together and try and harmonize with each other and get this off from...
Like, without even... With just the short little me.
Yeah, because that's all we did. All right. 1, 2,
3, 4.
Inch by inch, skinning you alive. Such white skin, cutting the muscle snip by snip, making sure the knife is sticking nicely. It's about the texture, it's like silk. I just can't believe the skin is so nifty. Making sure it is correctly shifting. I'm skinning you alive.
That was epic and scary as fuck.
Congratulations.
I think
that
it
was
was
giving your fellow bronies nightmares in the next couple of weeks.
I think it works well once you realize that Osieth
You
here,
were providing that like harmonizing link between me and Mobius.
your percussion, we harmonized to you.
Yeah, both of us were doing
At the
that.
same time, though, it didn't really help that I don't remember the tune other than the inch by inch part.
That's why he knows the tune best, and I keep the timing, we all work off each other.
Making sure the timing falls nicely. It's a perfect and so hip.
You guys are like the Triforce of singing terrible, creepy-ass parodies.
Oh, that's phenomenal. You want to go ahead and read the in-between bits?
Ironically enough, this is the Barbershop Quartet.
Hold up. You do.
The fourth person is
Hold
the
on.
audience singing
That has
along
to be
with
on
us.
Facebook immediately. You 3 are the what?
You three are the Triforce of singing terrible, creepy-ass parodies.
What's the name? I forget. What's the name of the author of this one again?
JamesCorck. His real name is...
Okay. If he makes another one, specifically one with Fluttershy, I want there to be the song Flutter Wonder.
Oh, fuck no!
Challenge, do you accept it?
You 3 are the Triforce of singing terrible, creepy-ass parodies. Facebook. Alright.
Okay, in between is where I had left off. Pinkie Pie threw the knife away. She wouldn't need it anymore. She ran to the surgical tray and pulled the circular blade from before. She dug it under Rarity's ribs and cut through the muscles to release the skin. Pinkie Pie laid the circular blade over the table as she moved to check Rarity. She was still breathing, her chest going up and down in rapid successions, and her eyes stuck looking up to the ceiling in a catatonic state. Pinkie Pie sighed in relief as she took the skin flap between her teeth and pulled hard. The skin came off the ribs and stripped Rarity's upper torso. I almost said super torso.
I fucking love the super torso. The super torso is above the lower torso.
Is the super torso like Super Bike or Super Toilet?
It is very
Yes,
similar to
it
super
is
torso.
now.
The skin came off the ribs and stripped Rarity's upper torso
It's so fucked up.
to a red and white freaky pattern. Rarity screamed in surprise as she looked down to see her own lungs through the thin layers of tissue and endodermic skin.
You know what that gave me the image of? A cardigan sweater tattooed on her flesh.
Okay, yeah, I just want to say, guys, I'm done. Whatever the fuck your name is, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
You are a genius, sir.
Did you ever listen to the interview I had with him?
No, and I don't want to.
He wrote this as a way to get over the initial shock of reading the actual Cupcakes.
What? This
was his form of catharsis.
So, I will give him this, though. He has not made Luke so upset to the point of him threatening to kill him.
No,
like the movie The Girl Next Door did to Luke.
That movie pissed me off. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's the first movie that made me physically
Hey, you know
angry.
another movie that pisses him off? Jump Street.
No! There is no way that the movie 21 Jump Street has got a higher rating on Rotten Tomatoes than Scott Pilgrim. That upsets me. I read reviews where they're talking about how they're praising Channing Tatum's impeccable comedic timing.
You know,
and I'm like, the G.I. Joe guy? That guy?
Don't forget that they said it was indicative of a generation of comedy.
And they said it was smart. It was like a smart take on the original.
Would you guys like to know what my response to him was when he told me this?
Please do tell.
This is the future of our country, and this is why Idiocracy is a documentary, not a...
And personally, if you want to know two other movies that will royally piss you off and offend you, and I can't believe I'm actually saying these two movies because both of these movies...
I can't believe it's not butter!
Well, no. The two movies I do not see. For the love of God, this is, these are just horrible movies. One is called The Room. Sure, some of you may have heard of this. And yeah, and
Tim keeps telling me that I need to watch it because it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Although Future War seems pretty awesome, too, because it's about aliens lose a slave in present-day Los Angeles and ride dinosaurs to find him.
And the other
That's a movie.
And I know this movie will piss off everyone because
Big Money Rustlers?
No.
Generation
It's called...
3 Ponies?
No. This is called a Serbian film.
Oh, I know about that one. I haven't seen it. I want to.
No, don't.
I really do.
I saw the review of it, even that offended me.
Just watch Lost Skeleton of Cadavra again. It will be a better use of your time.
I also wonder.
Not my problem. I sleep now.
Lost Skeleton of Cadaver is amazing.
But speaking of that Hustler movie you were talking about, the
Big Money Rustlers.
Big Money Rustlers is an amazing movie.
Did you see the little part of the... I think it was Dan who put up the review.
Yeah.
You saw that?
I'm kind of tempted to just amplify this, take the noise out, and post it immediately.
Well, I want to get that out, so...
Is that the 10 shots of Applejack talking?
Maybe.
I think that's a great idea.
Don't forget all the gin.
We love gin.
I was listening. I had a depressing day right up until I left and remembered that I didn't have terrible depressing music in my car. I had Sinatra. And then I thought, classy.
Well, you did get to have the clopening today, start to finish at work.
And don't forget the wonderful dream about my ex that made me think we were still together, and then I woke up.
And now you get to drink, and drink some more.
And that's why things are fun now.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put this up with a completely black screen. No cue card like the rest of the episodes. I'm just gonna fucking throw it up.
Okay, there's a part for the ICP, Big Money Rustlers. There's a review on Netflix. And it says, and the review says, I would rather watch my grandparents have anal sex in a tub of mayonnaise than sit through another frame of this movie.
That's phenomenal. And now I feel like I need to do the rest of this whole thing in Violent J's voice.
It's amazing because the way he describes it makes it think that he's actually put the thought to thinking that would it be worse if my grandparents had anal sex,
in a tub of mayonnaise,
in a tub of mayonnaise,
how old
honey,
are my grandparents?
kidney beans.
Everyone gives pause for the creepy Satan.
Anyway, let's go on.
Let's continue with this.
Yeah,
We've got
We're very close to the end.
Let me finish my paragraph and we can move on. Pinkie Pie pulled until her friend's chest was skinless. She dropped the big piece of skin, shaped like a vest, a very nice vest if I say so myself,
Yeah.
next to the other skin pieces and hair pieces.
There you are.
I'm skinning
You alive.
Pinkie Pie took a moment. Scene. Fucking awesome. Pinkie Pie took a moment to look at all her supplies. She had a wonderful set of skin and coat pieces big enough to make a full-body dress for a pony. The purple mane and tail would be perfect for a new hat. The horn would look great as a compliment. Her and her fucking horn necklace, just like me with vampire teeth in a campaign.
Jingle, jangle, jingle.
Or a gypsy who steals teeth to make them into buttons.
I love buttons.
She had all she needed for her new dress. All that was left to do was preparing the ingredients for the next batch of cupcakes. She took a step forward as she looked at Rarity over the table. From her neck down, Rarity's body was red with pink smudges and glistened like it had been covered in jelly. Oh, for I Am a Jelly God, that fucking fic. It's like a 1950s sci-fi movie where the jelly blobs roll into town and eat everybody. From her neck up, it was pure white, like a dressmaking doll, and her eyes were sunken into her soul, circled in black. She was still alive, but not for long. Pinkie Pie grabbed another syringe and plunged it into Rarity's chest. She threw the empty syringe over the surgical tray and took out a bigger knife, and she moved closer to Rarity's head.
Well, almost done.
A perennial smile on her face.
Now we'll just empty your body and that will be it.
Rarity opened her eyes in abject terror as she tried to speak. The constant screaming had left her throat dry and almost unable to utter a single word. Swallowing and gasping, breathing fast, Rarity managed to mumble a few words.
Pinkie Pie. Yes? Said Pinkie with a smile, with a sweet smile. A thousand thoughts crossed Rarity's mind. She wanted to go home. She wanted to go back to Carousel Boutique and keep making dresses. She wanted to wake up from this nightmare. If it was a nightmare. She wanted to beg Pinkie Pie to stop. She wanted to clean up, or even take a sip of water her punch, even if Gummy had been swimming in it. She wanted it to end. She wanted to see her sister one more time. Her sister, Sweetie Belle. Promise me that you won't do this to Sweetie Belle. For the first time since she'd started preparing Rarity for her last few minutes, Pinkie Pie lost her smile. That was a very odd request. It was a promise. Rarity was her friend. Sure, she had to kill her and gut her, but she was still her friend. Pinkie Pie took that as serious as she ever did. A promise is a promise. She put down the knife on the table. I swear it, said Pinkie Pie. Cross my heart and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. Pinkie Pie took back the knife as she moved between Rarity's haunches. Rarity rested her head over the table as she enjoyed her last sips of air inside her mouth. She passed her tongue over her teeth as she felt the pressure between her legs. Pinkie Pie's knife. Everything slowed down. Rarity looked down her body as she saw Pinkie Pie opening her big incision in her stomach. It had been shaped in the letter I. The flaps of muscle and sinew opened and Rarity saw her organs. Pinkie talked, but Rarity couldn't understand a word she said. She cut through. The conducts and the tendons holding her organs in place, she took them out one by one as she threw them inside the trash can. Rarity dropped her head down against the table as she felt her life going away. It felt strange. She thought it would be scary, but that it would terrify her. After almost 1 hour of sustained torture, mutilation, and psychological abuse, Rarity welcomed the peaceful sensation. Everything around her eyes turned black. The last thing she saw was Rainbow Dash's stuffed corpse. The last thought that crossed her mind was, if I only had more time to finish those designs. The last thing she felt was a knife sticking between her ears and cutting down her neck. Then, she was gone.
Scene transition!
Okay.
Epic scene transition.
At the top, Pinkie Pie.
I was looking to see
We're almost done.
how much longer there was.
Like a page.
You're a page.
I'm just gonna ask Masa and Adam.
No, as I said, I'm done.
Oh, you're done?
Masa's
Mind if I
done.
finish the rest of this
I don't
then?
give a shit. Do what you
Okay.
wanna do.
There's no more sadism left, anyhow.
Yeah, okay.
Well then, you know.
I'm done too.
I've
I'm
lost
still
it.
done.
No more fucked up stuff. I've lost interest.
Oh.
Pinkie Pie took the trash can out and left it ready to be taken by the Ponyville Garbage Services. She returned to her basement as she put all the pieces of skin and hair inside a bag and closed it, leaving it prepared for tomorrow. She would take them to her room and start sewing her dress. But now there was something she had to do, something more important than any of that. She looked over the table where her friend used to be. There was nothing left but the dismembered limbs and empty torso. Rarity's head lied over the table next to the centerfold. Her eyes were closed. Pinkie Pie ignored it and walked to the next room. She switched the lights on. On the wall there was a panel that was wide and tall as the wall itself. It was full of squares, and each square had a photo and a name. Every pony in Ponyville was registered there. Many of the photos had red marks over them. Pinkie Pie put her hoof inside a bucket of red paint and placed it over Rarity's photo. She felt a touch of sadness hitting her. As she looked down, feeling somewhat depressed, she looked back at the panel and looked for Sweetie Belle's photo.
And then she fucked Discord because the elements of harmony are gone.
She placed her hoof, leaving a red marking as well. She then moved to the party hat and took Sweetie Belle's number out of it. "A promise is a promise, Rarity," said Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie cleaned her hoof and left the room, switching the lights off. She moved to one of the tables in the butchering room and sat down in front of it. There was a notebook covered in pink stickers and pretty pictures of flowers and clouds. She opened it. It was full of recipes. "Okay," said Pinkie Pie with a sudden burst of happiness. "I have the perfect name for your cupcakes, Rarity. I bet you're gonna love it." Pinkie took a pencil between her lips and she wrote in big letters the name of her new recipe. "Petite Four," she said. That sounds fancy. It's perfect!" Pinkie Pie absorbed herself in her own thoughts as she began writing down the recipe while the night passed away.
The end.
Thank God.
Hardcore.
The Spiders is by Argabar. No, not again.
No.
So,
I'm
I just-
never doing that ever again.
So,
I say we start a Klopfic.
no.
so I just have this to say now that this is over.
Yeah.
No! No!
Yes, Lord Guru.
That pig pony. Bring her to me.
Sir, she's a fictional character.
I don't care. She can make delicious recipes out of the albino Namekians!
Phenomenal. We're really fun people. And by fun, I mean mentally deranged.
Indeed, and now your fans have yet another fic to look forward to listening to.
This is going to be amazing. So, before I hit stop on this episode, would you like to continue? And if so, should I make it a new thing? Or should we just continue in this episode of Wonderment?
I say we should start up another one, but I do have one thing to add after this.
Okay.
I just told the reason why I remember this because I looked over at your desk and saw your vinyl plushie. For my birthday, a friend of mine, Willow,
Isn't she adorable?
she's making me a pillow with vinyl on it.
So close.
I'm trying. I really am. Come close to the mic and do it for them so that they know.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I know,
You
but
might have, but they need to be reminded. Fucker.
I love how that all started with the awesome webcomic that is Boxer Hockey.
Oh, I was doing that before.
You
that.
were?
Yeah, you just
That was the first I ever heard of it.
you just attached it to that.
Okay.
Do this voice for Win Morgendorfer from Narnia, and yet I can't get as high as you, you fucking asshole!
Damn it.
Where's Greg?
No, Vinyl, no!
Mine now. Oh shit.
She's the DJ pony.
I know.
Let her teach you her ways.
But yeah, I had my choice between either getting a pillow with a Pokemon on it or a pony of my choice. That was one of the hardest decisions ever.
I didn't know you were a Pokemon fan.
I knew you were, but I didn't
Well,
realize that it rivaled your love of ponies.
Well, that was her, because she was already making Pokemon ones for her fiance and all that.
Please tell me that she was doing one of Mudkip. I demand all the Mudkips.
All the Mudkips.
I made you a base, but I dropped it.
You know what we could do right now? MLP drinking game.
Oh God, no, I can't.
We would have to spend the night if we did the MLP drinking
I
game.
thought you already were.
But I've only drank 2.
I am? You live here! Shut up.
Fine.
It was in my ear.
That's what she said.